So this is my July reading wrap up. Oh my god, I left my paper up on the bed. I think I'm smart. I think I read a total of 12 books in July, and I think it was around 4,000 something pages. Oh no, it is. Penny was sitting on top of it. I have the paper down here. 4,873 pages. So yes, 12 books. And so I think my TB read list that I had said I was going to read like 14, maybe 15 books. So I didn't read like 2 books. I didn't read the no, it was 3 books. So it was 15 books. I didn't read The Good Widow. You can see it. It's back there on the shelf because I didn't feel like getting that big giant book down. The Witching Hour, which was my a year-thon book. So yeah, I didn't do my year-thon challenge this month. It was in July because I didn't read The Witching Hour. And I didn't read The Bone Season. So yeah, The Witching Hour, I attempted to read it. I read about maybe 20 pages, I want to say, and I just could not get into it. I felt like I was in school, and it was something that I was reading for school, and I was just like, I couldn't do it. So that's what happened with that. And then The Good Widow, I think that's what that book is called. Something about a widow. I started reading it. I am reading it right now, which means I read a couple of pages, but I haven't read a book in a couple of days. I might read that in August, maybe. And the other book, The Bone Sister, just never got to it because my iPad kept being taken by my niece, so I didn't really have it. Okay, so what I did read. To start off with the book I didn't like. So the rest of the books were for the I think the rest of the books are for the book bingo challenge, and I did complete the book bingo even without the Witching Hour because that was one of my book bingo books, but I switched it with another book that I'll talk about later. Okay, so this is my least favorite book of the month. It wasn't maybe. I had 2 books I didn't like for the month. One of them was I'm Not Your Manic Pixie Dream Girl by Gretchen McNeil. I already knew I was going to like this book as soon as I got it. And I think I got this book from my book box, which is like it's a book subscription box. It's pretty affordable. It comes with 2 books. It has like multiple genres you can pick from. But when I got this book, it also comes with like bookmarks and like a letter from the author. It's a nice subscription box, but the books have all been missed for me, including this one. I recommend it for my niece probably. It's like a simple high schoolish book, high school drama, and it wasn't a bad book. I just didn't like it. There was nothing wrong with this book, I don't really think. It just wasn't for me. Like I'm giving this to my niece because I think she would like it. So it just was not. It was just high school drama that I didn't really care to read. And then the next book I didn't even rate that book because I really didn't really. I can't really say I read it too much. I just skimmed through it after a while. And I can't even find the other book. I don't even know if I have it down here. I don't think it is. I don't know where it's at. It's probably on my shelf still. It's The Road to Paradise by, I think, Paulina Hawkins or something. Was that this month? Did I read that book? I'm pretty sure that was this month. The Road to Paradise. It was for the, what was that? Beach reads and flings. A beach read. And also my book bingo list for a summer read. I rate that book about 2 stars. That book, oh my god. It was literally 300 pages of these girls bickering back and forth. It was filled with, I wrote a very long review about this on Goodreads because I did not like it at all. Like one of the main character was bad. The person she had with her on the road trip was horrible. They had like this other girl in there which was the biggest plot device character, throwaway character in the world. It was a weird book. It was not for me. Okay, next I'm just going to start picking books out of my pile. This book, probably the 3rd book I read in the month. So, The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. Got this book from that Road to Paradise book. So that Road to Paradise book was another my book box book. I think it came in the same book box this one came in. So yeah, that's why I don't have that subscription anymore because I never liked the books. This is from Book of the Month Club. This book sounds so interesting when I read about it. It's an LGBTQ read, which I read it for the Summer Reads and Flings LGBTQ book, and then I read it for my free space on my book bingo. I gave it 3 stars. It was a pretty interesting book. Like, you can see the plot coming from a mile away. Like, it was very predictable, but it was also not a bad book. It wasn't anything wrong with the book. I say I gave it 3.5 stars. It was the that stuff was the best part of the book. The other part wasn't so great. But the other stuff, it was just an okay book. Next I have The Sandcastle Empire. I almost did not read this book because I kept putting it off. This was my Owl Crate book, so I read it for Owl Crate Book Club. I read it for Book Set in the Future, for Book Bingo. I gave it, how many stars? Maybe 3 or 4 stars, somewhere in between those. It was okay. It's a dystopian book, so I hadn't read it. It did remind me a lot of Lost. Like, the Owl Crate thing was like, oh, if you're a fan of Lost, you'll love this book. And it did have like some Lost vibes to it. And the ending, for some reason, it made it seem like it was a part of it was gonna be like a series. But I don't think it is. But the ending felt very open-ended. It wasn't my favorite dystopian ever read, but it was a pretty decent book, but not the best. So like 3.5 stars maybe. Definitely not 4 or 5. But it was interesting. It was an interesting book. Next, I have one of my favorite books of the month, Roar by Cora McCormack. I got this from my Shelf Love Crate. This was so good. I love this book. I don't know if you can tell, but fantasy is my favorite genre. I love any fantasy book, but most of the time, and this one was one of the good ones. So it's about, like, I don't know how you even explain this book. This girl it's a world where they have like thunderstorm powers. This is a part of a series or a duology or something, and it's gonna be so I can't wait for the next book. The main character was good. The main characters are like a group of characters. They were all good. It was interesting. The magic was interesting and different, and I liked it. I chose this it was like a mythology type read or something. Even though I don't really think it was mythology, but I chose it for that category anyway. My video's getting kind of long, so let me go through it. I just put this book back down because I want to save that one for last because it's my favorite. The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adi. I think I butchered that last name. This book, I loved it, and I did not. It almost ended up on a DNF. It almost ended up as a do not finish, but so somehow along the way, it got super interesting, super fast, and I was just like, oh my god! I stayed up all night trying to finish it. It was really like, if you have problems with the beginning of the book, stick around like me because it got interesting, very interesting, and I think I'm gonna read the sequel. Maybe not. It's not down here. But it was good. It's a retelling, an Aladdin-like retelling, I think. It has an Aladdin vibe to it. And it's diverse, so that's great. And what was I going to say about it? I think I rated it like 4 stars. I got this book from Book Outlet. So I'm glad I wasn't disappointed in this book because I did buy the sequel before I read that book. So thank God that would come back to bite me. Then I have another book that I thought would be better because it was highly recommended, but I didn't like it all that much. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. And I wanted to like it more because I do have the whole series, Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I did not dislike this book. I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. It reminds me of if I read this book this book way back in 2007 when like Twilight was popular, I would have loved this book because that's what it reminds me of, a Twilight-y type like book, which is like not the best book in the world, but it's like a guilty pleasure book. There you go, a guilty pleasure book. So I'll keep reading the series, but I could read something better. So yeah, it wasn't the best thing in the world to me. Next, I read Taking Our Desk by the Shadow, which is the writing in this book is kind of similar, but for some reason I just like the series more. It's good. I love the series. It's like a super fun read. It's not that much depth to it. It's just light and fun. So I'll talk about the next book in this because it's 2 books in one, and I still have to read the next book in this book. Then we have 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. So I finally read this book after years. I remember when this book first came out way back when in 2007. Everybody was talking about it. I was still a high schooler, so I was still in a dang age group to read this book, and I didn't read it. So I finally read it, and it was okay. It wasn't the best book in the world, but I get it. It was like it's talking about important stuff, but I definitely like the book way more than the TV show. That's for sure. I am so hot. It's not even hot today. Next, I had a book that I did not think was going to be good, and I got this book from Amazon. I got Hush Hush, I think from Thrift Books. Yeah. And I read 13 Reasons Why for a book that's turned into a TV series, and Hush Hush for a book recommended by a friend. And The Wrath of the Dawn was a book set in a different universe or world or something. So this book was surprisingly awesome. Birthmarked by Kara M. O'Brien. Or Cara M. O'Brien. Okay. I got this book from Book Outlet. So it was just like a rant. I never heard of this book before I got it. It just sounded really interesting. And I read one of her books before and it wasn't that great. This series, way better than the other one. It's about a world, like a dystopian world, where like babies, when the baby is born, they get taken from like the poor world and get to the rich side of the world. So it's like basically like using babies as currency. And then I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's good. I went and bought the next 2 books because I have to figure out I have to see what's going to happen. I love the main character. I love the whole universe because it's just something you don't read about. It's very different. The last 2 books are in the same series. We have Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Oh, Birthmarked I read for Book Bingo. Book that's underappreciated. It is, because more people should talk about that book. It's severely underrated. Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight. Okay, so I love Laini Taylor's what's the book? The blue one, Strange the Dreamer. I loved Strange the Dreamer, so I was like, oh my god, it's this other series. It's good. Strange the Dreamer. This is her first one. It is. It isn't, but it is. I love Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I gave it 5 stars. I could not tell you how much I love the writing, how much I love the story and the reveals and the characters. It was so good. The second book wasn't as good as the first book, which made me so sad. But it wasn't bad or anything, but it just wasn't as good as the first one, which had me worried about the second book for Strange the Dreamer. But I still love these 2 books. Really love this one. 5 stars. I gave this one like 4.5 stars. So it's like good and evil, but the evil is the good characters, like angels and demons, but you're rooting for the demons, kind of. Or and you're rooting for the angels. It's like no good side. Like every side has bad guys. And then the twist, it's like twist around twist, and it's humans mixed with monsters and angels, and it's good stuff. Super good stuff. So yeah, that is thankfully all for my video. It's long, 14 minutes. I might re-record this, but I don't want to. Thank you for watching. Bye.